Yes, sir. This one is a Joshua Bye exclusive. 420 crew representing. John Seller Living, Peter G, African child. Serious.
Who I try to be, one thing will never change. I'm an African, an African man. I'm an African, I'm African. I'm an African, it's who I am, man. I'm an African, I'm an African, I'm an African, it's who I am, man. I'm an African.
the lyrical. Can't say it with my mindset.
I'm African.
African.